read.
Alright, so in regards to, I'm going to read this, because if I'm morning, but two we are bonfire. Guide to the Jamaican legal framework for demolition of structures. Governance and regulatory framework. Local building authorities, municipal corporation. I am the one. Remember say I am give us a partner. You love man more, you love yourself, you know, brother. Lift up, man. Big old tampad mouth boy. When I come over and I text it for the woman say, hold on, I see him thing. I just love go on. See one way name mind how you speaking about Mr. Cause I will take you to court.
Hold on, let me answer him. Let me answer him, Dballa.
No,
let me answer him. Let me answer him, man. Let me answer him. Cadet. Tell your counselor to take me go court because you came on Balla's live.
But I have the screenshot. If you don't think I have the screenshot,
you gave her the notice. Dennis Meadows spoke to the bailiff. Me not afraid of Tova.
Right.
Headboy not afraid of Tova.
You see like how Cadet do it a while ago? Me go take it off on my next device and post Cadet something. But just give me a minute when I read this.
Cadet, you're going to make you know say neither me or Headboy not afraid of Tova Hamilton. So tell her bring it on, Olidia. Tell her bring it on.
Well on it. Who is the MP? Tova.
Yes.
And Cadet say him give it to the MP. I know me or nobody says so Cadet. We have it screenshot. Just give me a second.
But be careful how we call MP name. Boy, go sit down with your done self and move from here. So you think we're afraid of courthouse?
Low crank, man. The man if a man not coughing. Low crank. Alright. Under the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development, act as the local planning authority for each parish. Example, KSAMC. Responsible for issuing demolition permit. Okay. National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, evaluates environmental impacts, reviews waste disposal plans, example, hazardous materials like asbestos, oversees demolition within environmentally sensitive zone, coastal zones, watershed areas. Building Practitioners Board regulates licensed engineers and contractors, ensures compliance with safety regulations under the Building Act, required to oversee structural works and demolition safely. So, yeah.
Hence the reason if it is that Pitney will go to school in a grade 1, not understand what that mean, then me sorry for people like Maxome and Cadet, because that is in itself is self-explanatory. There's no way you can carry out a demolition. First and foremost, you give you specific areas. There's no way you can carry out a demolition without putting the proper safety measures in place. Yeah? There's no way you can do that.
But Extreme and Bala, you know what?
Yes,
okay, so if it is that they're claiming the government was not aware of this demolition, then they're confirming what we have been saying, that the demolition exercise
is incompetent.
But not just incompetent, the demolition exercise was illegal because the parish council had to know. And when Gager responded, Gager's own speech catch him, you know, he told the Jamaica Gleaner and Television Jamaica that he was aware of the ongoing dispute for a very long time, which means that is why we have planning board. That is why we have they call it building and planning committee or town and planning committees in the parish council.
While Gager I try shift the blame from the Prime Minister, there's no way him and Tova should know.
Exactly, because he's the mayor, he's the first citizen. In fact, every demolition exercise that we remember, like we go back to when Mr. Mack was the head of cases.
Let me ask you a question. Stick one pin, my friend. Don't forget what you have to say.
Yes, sis.
If it is that they are now saying it is illegal, How come them not charge nobody for the illegal demolition? Make it make sense.
Make it
my
make
friend.
sense. But you see, Michelle, let me tell the people the truth. And one thing with me, you see, when you come out strong for people and I talk about people that tell lie, like when you accuse Marvin and Andre and Dre Bryan and Dballa of lying, let me help you know. You see, these people, they are very heartless. What Tova must tell us, when she was living, and this is alleged, and this is not the views of Bala program, because I'm going to deal with Tova and forget who she is. Tova, when you were in the G2K, because one thing me have on the file, you know.
Brother, tell if you look at the documents, please, look and come back.
When you were in the G2K, what did the current MP now for Northwest Senton saw you and the road to Mandeville doing? When you walk in Pauno, what sort of extracurricular activities both of you were engaged in? I want to say, I hear the word strap and on, and it was not beaten. Yes? It was not beaten. You guys are some disgusting set of people. I want to think when could come for. Let me tell you something, you know. Me is one man we prepare for go court. Because the same way I want to think. Darrell Vaz told us nothing is secret. Nothing is secret. And we have some labor right in there. We don't like Kuno. They don't like Kuno. Them don't like Kuno. And they're leaking on the lifestyle and on information. But we don't come after people and blaming people for speaking up for the people. This is... I said this to Michelle, and I will say this again. This is the playbook of Hitler. What did Hitler do when he came to power in Germany? Before he came to Germany, before he became Chancellor of Germany, he created this situation in Germany. He started with his goons, which were then known as the young, and I don't want to use the word because of it might strike, but they were known as the young soldiers of Hitler. And what did they do? They went around burning down the place. And it was the same Hitler who came out and said, we need order. Order. And when he came to power, he set up what was then called the Gestapo. You see, nationwide, Gager and Marlon Morgan and the others who are now frontline for information for the JLP, they are elements of the Gestapo. They have studied the Gestapo playbook. They have studied how the Gestapo operate, and they know if you continuously lie, the people will, if you say a lie long enough, the people will start to believe the lie. And that's what happened in Germany. So these people have studied the playbook, and they have seen how they could lie to people.
Reason I don't know. Remember somebody put one of them in the screen, but for some reason Alvarez left it for later.
No, man, we have to talk about this, man. What was it? That New Falmouth received 3 letters. One dated January the 3rd, 2024. One dated...
For the whole of the information.
People they have to learn extreme beauty. We're not all about nothing from the people them. One dated November the 27th, 2023. And the final letter dated March the 27th, 2024. Here is my question, Headboy. The first 2 letters, let me read one of them for you. The one on January the 3rd, 2024, it says, it's from the Corporate Office of Jamaica, and it lists the address, and it says, second notice, final warning notice. And this is what the letter said. The letter said, Dear sirs, failure to file outstanding beneficial ownership returns and annual returns, and it mentioned New Falmouth Resorts Limited, registration number 5802. This is the second and final warning notice to deliver to the registrar all the outstanding ownership returns and annual returns stated in the table below. Failure to respond to this notice and address the default identified in the table below in no later than 60 days after the date of the second notice and final notice will result in your company being struck off, removed from the register, and the company dissolved pursuant to Section 37H of the Companies Amended Act. And the table reads summary of outstanding documents. And it lists outstanding document, beneficial ownership return, and annual return. And it says, for the beneficial return, it says time period, Form A 2022 to 2023, and then annual return 19A 2022 to 2023. If your company has filed the outstanding documents requested prior to receiving this notice, you may disregard this notice. But in March of that same year, because remember now, that letter is from January. In March, they received another letter, March 27th, and the letter states from the Companies Office of Jamaica, to whom it may concern. Whereas having reasonable cause to believe that the companies named therein have not delivered within the period specified in Section 377F-1-B an annual beneficial ownership return, or delivered an annual beneficial ownership return that is not accurate, adequate, or up to date within the period specified in Section 37G. Take notice that at the expiration of 3 months from the date of this notice, the names of the companies mentioned in the schedule hereto will, in accordance with the provision of Section 377H of the Companies Act, be struck off the register of companies and will be dissolved unless cause is shown to the contrary. And it listed a list of company. Manhart Properties Limited, 7 North Street, Mapex Equipment Solution Limited, Anbury Road, Marine Safety Jamaica Limited, Medical MRI Services, Modern Transportation and Equipment Limited, New Era Homes 2000 Limited, and New Falmouth Resorts Limited. So basically this is saying, what this I say, Headboy?
This is my field, Michelle. I'm glad you give it to me. I'm glad you give it to me.
No
One second, Dr. Cole. Dr. Cole, 1 second. 1 second, because this is my specialty. My specialty. So I could tell you. Remember what happened when Dr. Nigel Clark was Minister of Finance? In order to comply with the Basel agreement, which said that you must know who the beneficial owners of companies are, and that you cannot have a company overseas owning a company without us knowing the beneficial ownership. Remember, this is why Andrew Holness had to suspend why ADMAT could no longer be a vehicle for for him. Because what had happened, the law had changed in Jamaica, so people who were hiding behind companies now had to reveal who the true beneficial owners of the companies were. So this was as a result of the adjustment, and the law was changed in 2022. You with me, Michelle?
Yes, I'm with you, baby.
Because the beneficial, so what they did, go back and look at the same New Falmouth Limited that was registered in Florida and see when they were removed from the registry in Florida. They were removed in 2024 to comply with the request of the Companies Office of Jamaica, because you can no longer have beneficial ownership hidden. We must know, that is what the Companies Office is saying, we must know who own these companies.
And Headboy and everyone, just to note a bit of not information, but these kind of adjustment across different agencies and across different borders, they come in as a way to curb corruption happening across the world.
No, it's not corruption. Money laundering. No, extreme. I'm just gonna make you could continue. I'm just saying it comes to stop. Money laundering.
Yeah. Headboy. Yeah.
The man named Chisholm lived in Florida,
Yes. He has a registered office in
persons
Florida.
need to understand that these are as a result of findings and different agencies. Certain international agencies require certain things from especially countries like Jamaica. They have to adhere to a certain international standard in order to set that framework so that, people can be more international monetary bodies can feel more secure giving their money to Jamaica.
Extreme, all of this is one thing, like Headboy said, money laundering.
People, please, could we tap up the screen some more? Follow the page if you're not following the page.
This is all about money laundering. But continue.
Yeah, and remember too, Extreme and Michelle, it was in keep. You remember when Jamaica was removed from the grey list?
No, I don't remember that.
I'm going to help people. You have what is called Finken. Yes? Finken is they call it the financial. So it's almost like what you call the body that ensures that countries comply with the international financial regulations, which one of it is you must know the beneficial owner. And if an account is opened in any company's name, you must know who the beneficial owners behind that account is. So when Nigel Clark came and had a sing and dance before he left, before he went to Washington, and he said, "Oh, we have been removed from the grey list and we're now compliant," because before that, remember, we had an issue with our correspondent banking services because there were too many companies set up where in Jamaica, we did not know who the beneficial owners were, similar to ADMAT. That's why they go offshore in jurisdictions that are supposed to be private, so you cannot tell who really owned the company. So a company owned the company.
And did St. Lucia made any changes in their own jurisdiction pertaining to that? Okay.
I could tell you what St. Lucia did. That's why ADMAT could no longer function. St. Lucia said, we will not, to comply with Finken, St. Lucia said, we will not allow any company to operate, to just register and just be a paper company. They must be doing business in St. Lucia. That's why ADMAT was dissolved.
Good talk, Extreme. Good talk. Exactly, Headboy. Exactly.
Remember, I did a thing with Rattigan and his program with Mystic, where I pointed out these when we were looking at Andrew Holness's IC report. So I tell you what the rich do, because this is something, as I tell you,
Up the screen, people.
this is what we do for a living. So incorporating companies, what the rich do, the rich will never pass money through a bank in their name because you're exposed. So you need to have companies that you pass the money through. So when you pass $20,000, let's say it go through NCB, I'm just using a bank, not saying it did, or no, let's change the name. Let's say it go to ABC Bank. When it gets into the United States stops the transaction because it needs to know who really owns the company. And so that is why we were blocked out of correspondent banking services for a long time, because we were never complying with the standards that were required.
And the compliance standard that changed, Headboy, throughout a period of years. It did not change because they really wanted to. It's because they had to.
Absolutely, because what was developed?
It was mandatory in most cases.
It was called CRS, Common Reporting Standards. What does that mean? Common Reporting Standards mean that in Jamaica must report to the United States. Jamaica must report to Basel. Basel is in Europe, which is the European Union. Yep. So you need to know who owns this company, who is the beneficial owner. When an account is open for them, are they compliant with the AML regulation, which is anti-money laundering regulation? And thirdly, one of the most important aspects of this, and that is why that letter came to them, because understand, I'm looking at maybe 8 or 9 companies here, minimum. When you have so much companies, what would have happened? Company A wants to move money without anybody know. So what does company A do? And we saw it in the Prime Minister's filing. IC report. Company A lend money to company B. But it does not mean that company B is doing any business. It could be that company A is moving illegal money. You with me? So we have to look at this and a serious. But what one of the companies stand out to me is New Era Homes. Because there's a gated community. You see, when you come out of Falmouth, and it's like you're heading into Clarkstown coming from Falmouth. You see that gated community you see down there? That is the New Era Homes company. That New Era Homes build that property. Yeah, that gated community. Then Coral Springs, some of the villas were built by New Era Homes. Then it's going to get worse. I want to ask a question without accusing anybody. Can the Speaker of the House deny or confirm her relationship with New Era Homes?
You take the word out my mouth. You took it out my mouth. But here's a bigger question now, Headboy. Because if two questions. Because if New Falmouth is no longer a registered entity, it cannot be that New Falmouth ordered the demolition of that property. Secondly, is it because when you read about this family that live in Texas that are behind New Falmouth, are all these companies, New Era and all of them, since they're into real estate, could it be that that family is behind all of these entities?
Michelle, could it be? You ask a good question. And I'll respond to you this way without accusing anybody.
In case you haven't seen this, this is one of the screenshots.
Right. Right. But I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this and tell you with certainty. People don't understand how companies work. When you are setting up entities, the person who has the share certificate, is who owns the company. So you set up a company, Michelle, and let's say I put Michelle in as a director, but I give Michelle no shares. Michelle is just a director on paper. I allot, let's say the company has 1 million shares. I allot, remember we see people, if you want to understand this, go back. And Bala, we have to go back to go forward, right?
Yeah.
Go back and look at the Prime Minister's, the IC report on the Prime Minister. And it will show you what was happening with how these companies operate. Because the share certificate, so I have 5 directors in my company. Let's say Frank, Joe, Paul, Mary, and Jane. Yes? 5 directors. However, those 5 directors don't really own anything. They don't own anything. What happened is that the share certificate is held by another company overseas. So it is that company who really owns the company because they have the share certificate. And you heard me one who is telling me, I challenge any one of you, anyone, including the Prime Minister and Tova, who claims to be a lawyer, but I've never seen her being on any big case. I challenge her to come and tell me that is how companies operate. They operate by share certificate. Who have the shares is who really own the company. I'm going to argue with them. Them there don't know what them are talking about. You could come talk to somebody who has a certificate that's called CAMS, Certified Anti-Money Laundering Specialist. It's not easy to get it. A whole heap of work me to forget it. So me could tell you, we know how to follow money. We know how to follow the trail. And once you follow the money, you can really know who owns the companies. Because you would be surprised to know that is why Androni's companies were lending loans to the other companies. Because if, let's say, I chop 300,000 using a number, and I have 5 companies, all I have to do is let it pass through one that is operational, meaning doing good business, and then I send it to one that does not have any business, and I list it as a loan. Remember, Those companies were not, some of them were not paying taxes, you know. So how could a company be having $20 million passing through it, but filing nil return?
But here
And
is the question. Sorry, Headboy, go finish.
Go ahead, sis, go ahead.
Here is the question. Because this family, because this opened up a can of worms, you know. This family owns over 1,000 acres of prime resort and coastal land in Jamaica through a corporate entity named New Falmouth Resorts Limited. So if this property is just 300 acres or 350 acres, where are the rest of the acres that this family owns through New Falmouth?
The rest of it, okay, the Burwood property is 328 acres. That is what we have seen on the document. The rest of the land is over in Clarkstown.
Okay.
That's why Andrew went down there and said, I'm going to make Clarkstown a city. Hold on, let me help you. I spoke this morning and Bala would remember. Remember that I spoke about a project that a particular university is doing in Jamaica. That's called a Smart City. That was the first project. They went to Abu Dhabi and they pitched the deal to some investors in Abu Dhabi and they came out as the number one. What was the three elements that made them become number one? They looked at university, they looked at hotels, and they looked at AI and data centers. Now, Michelle, let me help you know. You know why Trelawney is now important to them? Because on that same property,
Tap up the screen and I get valuable information for free. Tap up the screen.
they intend to set up a data center. Now, why do you need to have a data center in Trelawney and not in St. Anne and not in St. Mary? Because people forget, outside of St. Catherine, and Bala know this for a fact, outside of St. Catherine, Trelawney is the second parish with the largest amount of underground aquifers and water. So what do you need for a data center? You need a minimum of 300,000
Hence why
gallons.
I'm trying to override the rights and trying to mine the Jayaba Mountain and thing.
Because when they mined
been
it,
through it.
but the Dryaba Mountain project, right?
Water Africa.
would have been sitting exactly on the aquifer. So what would have happened there? The water would have been condemned, and therefore they would have said to the people, well, there's no water here because the water is condemned. So hence justifying setting up a data center and use the water. You have to have water to set up a data center. Go and look on the university's project that is called the University City, the Smart City of Trelawney. It was the first project announced.
But all on the Headboy, because somebody brought that to my attention the other day about. Yeah, man, Dr. Cole Sue come in quickly about the whole AI thing, where in order to do a search, it takes a certain amount of water to populate that search. Is that true?
Yes, I am telling you.
Okay, and given the climate now, that a lot of places are in drought, what do you think is going to happen?
No, go ahead and say it, Extreme.
No, I don't want to say. I'm asking. I'm trying to, I don't know anything, because members say me not bright, but me just ask one question.
But Extreme, you're on the right point. That's why I said finish your thought. You're correct. Proceed.
I am asking a question, so you answer me.
And I'm going to respond to the question.
I'm going to go to school, you know.
No matter no school. No, comrade. We are first in study. That is what Michael Manley taught us, to be first in study. Yeah? I'll tell you what is going to happen, because when there is when the water, first of all, they need to have a certain amount of water. All right. When you're going to do, why you think in America many of the states are opposing AI data centers? Because it is taking away their drinking water or their portable water. So when you're going to set up a data center, you need to be assured that you have in capacity in that aquifer. Go ahead.
Take a pin, people, follow us here, because this is information. I don't know who's learning, but me I try to get something that for my little bird brain. So when you lack water, what happened to your body, Headboy?
You know, dry out and pass out.
Without water, you have plants and animals and human beings die. So I don't understand.
No, but let me help you extreme. Let me help you understand. Let me help you understand. You ever hear about a form of water named desalination water?
Yeah.
Yeah. From the
Do you know what is going to
salt water? Mm-hmm.
Yes, you convert salt water into drinking water. Do you know what they're going to do in Trelawney? They're going to, because why they can't use desalinated water for, because people said, but there's so many sea, why they don't just desalinate the water and use it for the AI centers? No, water in its natural form, remember, I am not a science student, but what is water? H2O. What does the H stand for? Hydrogen?
Hydrogen.
And what the 2O stand for? Oxygen. Yes? No.
And clarify to the people who are listening what it is when your body lack hydrogen, oxygen. Tell them what happened to them for me, Headboy. No, but I go school.
But no, I am not looking at extreme. I don't want to go on the science part of the people. I want to look at
biology, yeah.
I don't want to look at the biology. I want to look at the economics and the IT infrastructure. When the H2O now, why they use the H2O? Because most of those places, that's why copper, you realize they're talking about finding copper in Jamaica? Yes. That is why copper is important, because copper does not rust. And copper is the only conduit that could cool down, that they need to cool down the systems. Yeah? So what they do with the water, they pump that water continuously, 300 gallons continuously through copper pipes. Yeah? And that copper pipe is what creates the cooling.
Up the screen, my side.
That copper pipe is what creates the cooling.
Follow the page, if you're not following,
so I want people to understand that why Trelawney is now important, why Black River is now important. Black River sits on the largest natural body of water in the Caribbean outside of the harbour.
Wow.
Yes.
Headboy, stick up in 1 minute there, because I find something very interesting, my friend. In 2023, because this area, this Falmouth and Trelawney area is creating waves,
Of course.
Because in 2023, and I didn't even know this, there was a massive hotel investments slated for the greater Falmouth area in Jamaica. And this was Sunday, May the 28th, 2023. And it says investment in hotel infrastructure totaling some US $625 million is expected to be made in the greater Falmouth area of Trelawney, Jamaica, for the construction of 3 new properties and 1 expansion over the next few years. Jamaica's New York Consul General, Mrs. Alcyon Wilson, told Friends of Falmouth Symposium at Major Owens Wellness Center in Brooklyn, New York on Saturday, May 26, that the Trelawney area currently boasts approximately 6 large hotels and a total capacity of 3,906 beds. These exciting additions, including establishments like Harmony Cove with 1,000 rooms, Planet Hollywood Royalton with 650 rooms, RIU Acrylic with 753 rooms, and Excellence Oyster Bay with 50 new rooms will bring the total number of hotel rooms in the Trelawney area to an impressive 3,000.
Did it give a specific location, Michelle, as to where they would be?
It says Falmouth Trelawney, but based on what I am seeing, to add up to because it also said she urged members of the Trelawney diaspora to lobby for the preservation of this historical town. It's a long article. I don't want to get in all of it to throw Headboy off. But it seems, Headboy, what I am really getting at is I see where the fight for these lands in Falmouth, Trelawney is going. I see. Continue, Headboy. Sorry for.
No man, you didn't cut. In fact, you enhanced what I was saying, because let us look at it. All these hotel developments, where they going to get the water from? I am suggesting to you.
You know, sometimes I realize that a lot of persons, I don't know if they think before them act, because when you try to, let's say you try to run a well dry Headboy, but yet still you yourself depend on water to live. What do you think is going to happen to you? You don't think it will adversely affect you?
No, Extreme. I keep on telling you, they will give the fresh water to the white folks, and they will construct a desalination plant and tell Trelawney people drink desalinated water. Mark my word. Yeah? Because the sea can't done. Yeah? The sea can't done. A desalination plant, minimum plant, can generate 1 million gallons a day, 2 million gallons a day, and up to 5 million gallons a day. So I know that is why. And by the way, Michelle, all the properties you listed are on the same Burwood Cooper's land. It is on the same.
Yeah, that's what I saw somebody just said in the comments.
It's on the same Jobson's. No, Michelle, me know down there now. That is why I can talk with the confidence. When I used to go down a morning time at Falmouth Cruise Pier, early before we would have said cock put on in draws. Yeah? When I used to go there earlier morning time. In fact, why Falmouth Cruise Pier has even rival Montego Bay and all the other cruise pier? Because it is the only pier with the freshest water in Jamaica. So what when they come?
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Bala.
Cause I'll go on. Dr. Cole is still there. I want him to get a talk, but I have something to say. Do you guys remember when the Prime Minister went on stage with his fanatics and fake crying with Juliet standing beside him? But, oh, we have sinned against Jamaica. We have sinned against the people, the born and the unborn. Everything start make sense to you now.
Yes.
No, but like now makes sense to everybody, because somebody in the comment there say a theories. So I don't know if it is that they are not fully walked. They are not fully walked,
because Bala, don't miss this comment from somebody. They said when I live in St. Anne, when Rio was being built, we did not have water for 2 years on and off. Folks, we are not here to gaslight people.
Oh, okay.
We are not here to gaslight people. We know what we are saying.
No, but what a lot of these people, they have not been moving with the speed of time.
Miss Birdie, big up yourself, people. Thank you for the top support. Headboy, I know why you're going about Dr. Cole.
May I yield the floor, man? Hold on, wait. Bala, right. This is all I'm going to say.
Don't cut it before you wrap up. We're going to Dr. Cole next.
Yeah, man, go and research the project that is being proposed. By the way, every project that is being proposed in these areas had to submit a proposal to the planning board at the parish council.
It's public information.
It is public information. In fact, I could go further. I have seen the plan for the university, and I don't have to say nothing more. Next thing people figure out who may be. That's it.
Headboy, somebody just said it's the same thing happening in exchange in Ochoria.
Oh, Dr. Cole gone. So continue with the reason. Dr. Cole gone. Dr. Cole, circle back, man. I'm a general. No,
but Bala, the box is also full. I don't know if anybody who's sending their request really that is their intention to send a request.
No. Well on extreme. Well on extreme. Remember, say we already there a reason, and we could even squeeze Dr. Cole. So please to let the reason flow. People are enjoying the informative information. So I like we want crowd up here, we want knowledge, I want the reason to make sense.
That is true, but you know who in the box will send requests that can even add knowledge to what we are doing. So we don't want to shy nobody away, understand?
No, it's not about, no, I'm going to tell you this. Sometimes, you see, Just work with my spirit and my vibes. If there's anyone want come up in the box, please to indicate, and this is what I said from yesterday, because the nonsensical, the outbursts are going on the program because some people want ball fit talk and them fit talk and no. But see, that's when we catch all Headboy and Michelle, we have to make them burn fire because them fire no normal. And we have to work with it. No disrespect to other people, but you know we have certain people when them talk a brat and people in the chat, me I watch the chat and them say it's educational. So we don't want nobody to come up and now show off a reason like AccuWater and go on one different and start chat about when the donkey jump over the moon and the cow in take away dish and them something there. So we can go and listen.
Hey, alright. So the point we may try to make is that no, me just have to take 10 seconds and say something because you're probably longer than me.
Headboy, when Extreme finish, please continue teaching because me I learn to my brethren.
Alright. So what a lot of people, and that is why AI come and try to take over, you know, because they might try to move people ahead with the timing and then not get it. They are not getting it. They don't realize say technology take over for them because they're so slow. They now move with the time. That's why the lady there, whoever the person is a while ago, can come and type about theories. A lot of things where our foreparents spoke about. It is been coming to fruition today. It has come to fruition today.
Please to indicate that it's
and when we are talking now, even if it not happen tomorrow, trust me, maybe our generations after us is going to come and tell the next generation, because yes, the Kiki put it in there to support my point. Digital footprint will also teach them that, damn, remember this was said a few years ago? Oh, so then did right. See there, nobody no conspiracy theorists over here. People read and they have knowledge and they use public information to relate the
make us stop watch the comments and make the people them learn. Because if we are going to watch the comment, it are going to show off the argument. Bolo or whoever delete them and just make Headboy go and talk.
Let me say something before we continue. The thing what I like with people where stick with me from the start doing the live, big up to them. We know the source of the water. And when we say source of the water, the source where you get information. And big up to all of you guys who can say, yo, go and research it. Don't take my word for it. So if you guys are lazy, we don't want to be like a lab rats who take program. So Headboy, continue my general. People, please stop up the screen. Please to follow the page if you are not following
I'm
the page.
I'm gonna move away from the project a little bit. No, just one more point on the project. If you look back on the planned university city and AI data center, overwater hotel, all of that proposal. If you look at it, they made a proposal in Abu Dhabi. Where's Abu Dhabi? It is in the UAE. It's a part of the Emirates, right? Why? And Michelle, you've been saying something, and I don't think people realize what you have been saying, but you have been correct. But it's not just Israelis alone. Let me tell you something. Go and look at the plan, the Saudi Arabia, the Saudi Development Fund, and the Abu Dhabi Development Fund, right? Look what their proposals are for the areas that they intend to invest in. And why am I saying Abu Dhabi? Because that's where they went. Look what's happening in the Middle East now. In Dubai, right now Dubai is not certain of how long it's going to exist. Because if tomorrow morning, if the Americans attempt to do another attack on Iran, they will continue to plummet Kuwait. They will continue to plummet. They will continue to plummet Bahrain. They will continue to plummet the UAE, and they will continue to plummet Jordan. But let's stick to UAE. In UAE now, because the demand of Iran is that no American military bases must be there. A lot of the wealthy people in the Emirates do not want to remain there. They do not want to remain there. So where do they want to come? When you look at the proposal from this university, it says that we are 45 minutes away from the Montego Bay, the Donald Sangster International Airport. No, most of the rich people in Dubai have their private jets. So they need to be close to an airport, because if they need to get up tomorrow morning, because there's no healthcare in Jamaica for them, right? And in fact, why did they choose Trelawney? There's an hospital called Hospiten, which is even far away better than our healthcare in the entire Jamaica. So when we hear people talk, we don't come here with conspiracy theory. We do research and we're able to connect the dots because we have been doing our research. No, I want to move away from that aspect because we have established what really is behind there. And this is I'm going to take 1 minute. Michelle, I want you to go back and look at which court of appeal judge. Because now we're going up on the judge. Because some other people that take you on the other day about judge no corrupt. Who don't know Jamaica, large run Jamaica here, large run Jamaica and friendship and courthouse. Let me help you. Who was the chief appeal judge? Who were the 3 judges that sat on the panel? I am asking you a question that I know.
Hold on.
Go and look at the housing agency versus New Falmouth.
Come again, baby. I don't hear what you say.
Go and look at the case, housing agency versus New Falmouth.
Okay.
And tell me who the 3 judges that sat on the appeal. And one of them, I'm going to expose that judge. Watch me now.
Give me 1 minute.
Whilst you're doing it, let me see if I could carry it up to, because I have the document.
All right. Blah, blah, blah. Give me the name of the judges and I'm going to go down somewhere. So would that be the Ministry of Housing versus New Falmouth Resort?
Yes. Who was the judge in that case?
You don't want to tell me the hold on, let me see the judge.
Hold on, I'm going to bring it up. I know I have the information and I sent it to. Let me get it here. 1 second, I have it. 1 second.
Okay.
Yada.
Judge McIntosh and Judge Campbell.
Right. Lennox Campbell, correct?
It just said Judge Campbell and Judge McIntosh. It never
Okay, thank you. When the appeal went, remember this was just the Supreme Court, you know, no sir? This was not the appeal court.
Yeah.
This case went to where? The appeals court, right?
Right.
Who was the Chief Justice at the time that sat on the panel? I'm asking questions I know. It's Zayla McCullough. You with me now, Michelle? You originated from the GLP. Who is Zayla McCullough to Bruce Golding and the GLP?
I don't remember, you know.
Okay, well, I'll tell you. Zayla McCullough lives in Highgate. Yes? She was married to a lawyer called Mr. McCullough. Yes? When this case came up, remember it's during Bruce Golding time, you know? Yeah? She was the appeal judge. When the administrator general dismissed the claim of the family and it went as far as to the appeals court, she sat there. Why was Zayla made the chief?
Hold on. When you say family, you mean the Jobson family?
Yeah, when they attempted to appeal, you know. Yeah?
Yeah.
See somebody say, I know them, right? Do you know in St. Mary? And the man is unalive now, so I could say anything. If they want, you can't sue. Man when they can't sue. A lot of families in St. Mary face the same thing. This man would take people's titles. In fact, like if you might buy a piece of land for him, take the money, or we call it, you put it in escrow, right? And you can't get your title. Now, remember that Zayla was appointed by Bruce Golding and she was said to be the first female woman justice. So why did they give Zayla the post? No, I'm going to show you the connection. You remember one judge where they charge people for pick Aki over the Governor General place? Who was the judge? Not Judith Pusey.
Yes.
Where Judith Pusey come from?
I don't know.
St. Mary. St. Mary Islington. Where Zayla McCullough come from? St. Mary Islington. The two of them are all two labor right. Nobody now have to tell me that. Me know. Because I won't set to reveal too much about myself. Yes? See somebody saying yes? Right? So that is why, and the Governor General's wife and Judith Pusey and Zayla McCullough are all persons that were in the same clique. Listen, the Governor General live up at Gibraltar right now in St. Mary.
Street, my side, 500K, please.
Yeah? Go and look. Lady Allen, thank you. Right? I see somebody say, yes, true, thank you. I am telling you, she is from St. Mary. When the issue happened with her mother, when the mother was, the thing that caused her
to... Somebody said, Mr. McCullough stole my mother money for titles. Judy and I went to school. Jesus Savior, what a web.
When we Bala, I want people to know when we talk, we not talk with water in our mouth. Gibraltar, see that Gibraltar it still lives. We not talk with water, we research. In fact, I could go further and say without revealing too much things. The same labor right lawyer Champagne. Champagne was raised by the judge. Remember, not the judge, the big time lawyer. When him name him, they used to defend the jail pay a lot. But the old man name man QC. Oh, he was in the Tivoli. He was defending Bruce them at the inquiry.
Oh yeah, the name can't just come to mind.
But a labor right, he came Frank Phipps. Yeah? Frank Phipps, Frankie. I have nothing more to say. Panel, I'm going to allow somebody else to talk. When you go back, so it is the crew. It is a crew from St. Mary. And in fact, a lot of the facilitation of the land thieving occurred whilst they were sitting in court. Tell them to come sue me.
So Headboy, because this thing what you're telling me if I pull up. You know what? Go
look at the appeal. Go and look at the appeals court. Go back, type in New Falmouth appeals court, and you will see who the panel of judges